Greeting, my name is Misha and I'm back. So you know me before, right? So just like the past, today I'm gonna read you a short story which I randomly go on a web and to show you my voice. And the same topic, the same topic about water bears and no more any else topic. So in this case, you get straight to the business right now. So today I'm gonna read you a short story. I don't know, I looked up in the web, and I don't know, it's maybe rubbish, maybe nonsense, but I don't. So let's get straight to the business right now. This is what I search in the web. It's just because my father is a border bear. I know. So this is my voice, okay? So you hear my voice once again. This story is a tissue of truth, mostly. As with many of my stories, I have woven truth together and make from them a truth stranger than fiction. My father was a border bear, honestly. Tracking down a border bear shouldn't be that difficult. You just follow the bobs easy enough for any combatant in it. My father is a border bear. Now, if you had a father who was a border bear, you'd be curious, wouldn't you? You would go looking for him. That's what I did. I went looking for him. And I telling you, he wasn't all that easy to find. In a way, I was lucky because I always have two fathers. I have a father who was there. I called him Dollars. And the one who wasn't there, the one that I never even met, the polar bear one. Yet, in a way, he was there. All the time I was growing up, he was there inside my head. But he wasn't only in my head. He was at the bottom of our starlight shoebox, our secret treasure box, with the rubber bands around it, which I kept hidden at the bottom of the cupboard in our bedroom. So how, you might ask, does a polar bear fit into the shoebox? I'll tell you. My big brother Terry first showed me the magazine under the bedclothes by torchlight in 1948, when I was 5 years old. The magazine was called Tear World. I couldn't read it at the time, but he could. He was 2 years older than me, and he already mad about acting a terror about that. He still is. He had saved up his pocket money to buy it. I thought he was crazy. A shilling. You can get about 100 lemons separate for that down the shop, I told him. Terry just ignored me and turned to the page 27. He read it out. The Snow Wind, a remake or something other of Han Edison's famous story by the Young Witch Company. And there was a large black and white photograph right across the page. A photograph of two feces looking polar bears barking their teeth, and about each two children, a boy and a girl, who looked very frightened. Look at the polar bears, Terence said. You will see that one woman on the left, a fatter one, that our dad, our real dad. I say his name and everything, Peter Van Damen, but you're not to tell it, not Dollars, not even my mom, promise. My dad is a polar bear, I said. As you can imagine, I was a little confused. Promise you won't tell, he went on, or I will give you a Chinese burn. Of course, I wasn't going to tell. Chinese burn or no Chinese burn. I was hardly going to go to the school next day and tell everyone that I had a polar bear for a father, wasn't I? And I certainly couldn't tell my mother, because she knew that would light it if I ever asked about my real father. She always insisted that Dollars was the only father I had, I knew he wasn't, not really. So did she, so did Terry, so did Dollars. But for some reason that was always a complete mystery for me, everyone in the house pretended that he wasn't. Some backgrounds my usual here. I was born. I later found out when my father was a soldier in Baghdad during the Second World War. You didn't know there was polar bear in border, didn't you? Sometimes, after my mother met and fell in love with dashing young officers in the Royal Marine Corps Dollars Necklace, all this time, evacuated of the lake, this district, away from the bombs, blissfully unaware of the war in Dollars, I was learning to walk and talk to my business in the right place at the right time. So my father came home from the war to discover his place in the mother heart has been attacked. He did all he could to win her back. He told her on a week's sailing holiday in Suffolk to see if he can rekindle the light in their love, but it was hopeless. By the end of the week, they had come to an amicable arrangement. My father would simply disappear because he didn't want to get in the way. They would get divorced quickly and quietly so that Terry and I couldn't brought up a new family with Dollars as our new father. Dollars would adopt us and give it to McLeish as our surname. All my father insisted upon where was Terry and I should keep Van Diemen as the middle name. That's what happened. They divorced. My father disappeared, and at the age of 3, I became Andrew Van Diemen McLeish. It was a mouthful then, it was a mouthful now. So Terry and I had no actual memories about my father whatsoever. I do not have a recollection standing on a railway bridge somewhere near Earl Court in London, where we lived with Dollars' sisters. Our birthday, as I came to know her, telling us that we had a brand new father who would be looking after us from us now on. I was really not that concerned, not at the time. I was much more interested in the train that was chuffing along under the bridge, wrapping us in a fog of smoke. My first father, my real father, my missing father, become a taboo person, a big hush taboo person that no one ever mentioned, except for Terry and me. For us, he soon became a sort of secret phantom father. We used to whisper about him under the blankets at night. Terry would sometimes go snooping in my father's desk, and he'd find out about him. He's an actor. Terry told me one night, our dad is an actor, just like mom, just like I'm going to be. It was a couple of weeks later that he brought a theater magazine home. After that, we would take it again and look at the Border Bear's father. It took some time. I remember before the truth dawned on me. I don't think Terry can explain this very well. If I had, I would have understood it much sooner, and surely I would. The truth, of course, I think as we can have guessed now, was that my father was both an actor and Border Bears at one and the same time. Dollars went out to work a lot, and when he was home, he was a bit silent, so we didn't really get to know him. But we did get to know Aunt Berry. Aunt Berry simply adored us. She loved giving us treats. She wanted to take us on the special Christmas treat. She said, Would you we like in the zoo? Would we like to go to the pantomime? Just where Dickens with Boston, I could choose whatever we like. Quick like a flash, Terry said. The Snow Queen. We want to go to Snow Queen. So there was a few days later, Christmas Eve, 1948, sitting in the stalls at the matinee performance of Snow Queen, and a young Victor waiting for the moment that when the Bolivares come on. We didn't have to wait for long. Terry nudged me and pointed, but I knew already which Bolivar was my father had to be. He was the best one, the smallest one, the grossest one, the scariest one. Whenever he came on, looked as if he going to eat anyone. He looked mean and hungry and savage, just like the way Bolivar should look. I had no idea whatsoever happening in the Snow Queen. I just not take my eyes off my Bolivar's fine curling claws, his slavering taunt, his killer's eyes. My father was without doubt the finest Bolivar actor the world had ever seen. When the great red curtain closed, at the end of it opened again for the actor to take their bows, I clapped so hard that my hand hurt. The more curtain closed and the curtain stayed closed. The safety curtain came down and my father was cut off from me, gone forever. I'd never see him again. Terry had another idea. Everyone was getting up, but Terry stayed sitting. He was staring at the safety curtain if some kind of trance. He wanted to meet the Bolivares, he said quietly. Aunt Betty laughed. They're not bears, dear. They're actors, just like other people acting. As you can meet them, it's not allowed. I want to meet a Bolivar, Terry repeated. So did I, of course, I wanted. Please, Aunt Betty, I pledged. Please, don't be silly. You too, you go to get some silly notion sometime. Have a chalk eyes and Ted, get your coats on now. So we each got chalk eyes, but it wasn't the end of it. So I don't want to read the rest of it anymore, because it's too long right now. So you can look in the web for this text, I know it's a bit rubbish and had no meaning, but yeah, but it's simple because I want to show you my voice, okay? So this one is, my father is the Bolivar, you can search in the web. And thank you for listening to my voice, my Misha, by the way. So I'll be back and we carry on to uploading some video that record my voice on YouTube someday, okay? So this is my voice. Thank you for listening. My name is Misha, by the way.